Hi, it's Kristen. Welcome back to Generation Acres Farm. We are in the kitchen today, and I'm going to be sharing with you today how to mill your own flour at home. I'm going to talk a little bit about why you may want to start doing this, what the benefits are of it, as well as all about the grain mill, which one I have, how to use it, all of that is going to be covered in this video. So let's get into it. So I started milling our flour at home about over 10 years ago now. It was before we had any children. It was just Scott and I actually it was a friend who told me that she had started doing this, and she pointed me in the direction of a place where I could learn more. And so I dove right in, invested in the grain mill, and my mother-in-law had a Bosch mixer, one of those really big ones that she actually used to do this very same thing. She used to have a grain mill that she would mill the grains and make fresh bread for her children, my husband, when he was growing up. So she still had one that worked. So I ended up inheriting the Bosch mixer from her, which I use every month to make fresh bread for my family, which is really fun. So I have a full blog post written out that I'm gonna link in the description box down below on our website, which is generationacresfarm.com. And it's gonna cover all of these things in detail as well. If you would like to have a place where you can read it, I'll have links to everything that I mention here in the description box, as well as over in that blog post on the website. So if you want to learn more about why it is so much healthier to buy the whole wheat berry and grind it fresh and use the whole thing to make your breads and muffins and all those sorts of things, all that information is in the blog post that I wrote. So that has a very detailed explanation of all the health benefits and things involved in doing this, and why you would want to kind of go out of your way, and why the extra work is worth it. But for the sake of time, I'll just mention that the whole wheat berry contains vitamins, minerals, enzymes, protein, fiber, all sorts of things that you want in your diet and in your family's diet that you just do not get from flours that you buy in the store. Part of the reason is because there is oil in the berries that once you grind them will cause the flour to go rancid. So that's why way back in the day, the families, the wife or housewife or whatever would take their whole wheat berries down to the mill, have them ground, take it back home, and immediately bake her bread with it. And then as things became more processed and industrialized, they started milling flour and stocking it in stores, but the only way to do that without it going bad is to separate out the different parts of the wheat so it wouldn't go bad. And then that leaves us with just like the white flour, which pretty much lacks all nutrition. And then even whole grain flours in the store is not the same at all because they have to separate the pieces and they put them back together and they put in vitamins and things that may or may not be well absorbed by our bodies and not beneficial. So like I said, for the sake of time, that's my quick little spiel about why this is so much healthier. But let's get into where to buy your wheat, what kind of grain mill I have. I'm going to show you exactly how I grind the wheat to make our bread. The most cost-effective place to buy wheat berries that I have found so far is Azure Standard. I'll have their website linked below. It is a co-op that it's like a health food co-op that offers bulk food items for discounted prices. And the best thing to do is to go onto their website and see if you have a drop in your area. They have trucks that run all over the US, and chances are you probably have one in your area, and if you don't, you might be able to start one up if you have other friends and things who want to order from them as well. That's the cheapest place I've found to buy the whole wheat berries. The whole wheat berries that I keep on hand are non-GMO organic hard red wheat and non-GMO organic hard white wheat, and I use both of those, hard red and hard white. I mix them half and half for pretty much all of my recipes. My honey whole wheat, my cinnamon raisin bread, when I do cinnamon rolls, when I do muffins, I just mix them half and half. So those are the main ones that I keep on hand. Other ones that I've purchased have been spelt, which I didn't find that there was really much difference in flavor from the hard white wheat. But I have tried those before. We have kamut grains that we keep on hand as well. And I think that's it for the grains. So if you don't have as your standard in your area or you don't want to go through the drop, you can definitely find them on Amazon as well. I will link my favorite companies to buy from on there. That's where my current grains that I have are from. They're a little bit more expensive, but if the ease of just having them dropped off on your doorstep from Amazon is what you're looking for in this season of your life, then that's fine, and I totally do the same thing. I get our grains from there as well. Prices have gone up as with everything, but it's still way cheaper to buy the whole grains than it is to be buying healthy or organic bread from the store, or gluten-free bread, which is what we would have to do. We were having to buy gluten-free bread, which actually isn't even very healthy for you because there's a bunch of junk in it, but we have some gluten intolerance, so we can't just go and buy bread from the store, which is another reason why I do this. We have a lot of gluten intolerance in our family, but grinding the whole wheat fresh, we have absolutely no issue with it. None of our family reacts. Even my youngest daughter, who has the hardest time with gluten, she never reacts. She can eat this bread all day long and it doesn't affect her at all. I think it's because we're using the whole grain. Everything's there to help our bodies to digest it, and I think that's why we don't have the issues with it. But as your standard, Amazon, those are my favorite places. You can also try places like Whole Foods, or if you have a local health food store, sometimes they will stock in their bulk bins some of the whole grain, so those are good places to check as well. As far as grain mills go, it is a little bit of an investment depending on the mill that you choose. If you want an electric one, there's kind of two front runners, and those are the Wonder Mill, which is what I have, and the Nutrimill. Those are two of the most popular, and when I was researching them 10 years ago, they were the same. The benefit, like, everyone has nice things to say about them. They last a really long time. The only reason why I chose this one was just because it was on sale at the time. So if you're looking to choose between the two, I would suggest just pick the one that's cheaper because they seem to be equally as good quality and work just as well. That being said, I have had the Wonder Mill for 10 years and I've never had a single problem with it. I use it every month at least, sometimes multiple times a month. And over the last 10 years, every single time I've turned it on, it's worked perfectly every single time. I can't say enough good things about the Wonder Mill. I love it. So in the top here, there is a little kind of hopper where you pour the grains into, and then it grinds it, and then through this little tube here, it spits out the flour into this bucket here, and then I just detach this and then take this over to wherever it is that I'm going to make bread. So I'm going to show you how that works because I'm actually going to be filming my bread recipe next, so I'll have that up on the channel for you soon as well. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and just grind these wheat berries so I can use it to make our fresh bread, and so you can see how it works. All right, so for my grain mill, it tells you to turn the machine on first before you pour in the wheat berries. Yours might be different, so make sure you read your directions. I believe one of them you're supposed to pour the grains in first, so make sure that you read that. So I am going to turn mine on. Let me mention one thing on the front here. There's a little dial that you can choose the coarseness of the grind. So I always keep mine on bread for the most part, but there's a pastry option. So if you wanted to do pastry items and you need that like finer grind, you could use a lighter wheat to do some pastry items, and then you could turn it to pastry, which gives you like a finer grind. There's a bread option, and then there's a coarse option, which I've only used the coarse option for grinding popcorn in, and you can do that to make fresh cornbread, which is really delicious. But for the most part, I just keep it on bread. All right, I'm gonna turn my machine on and then pour in my wheat berries, and we'll turn this into delicious flour that we're gonna make bread with. All right, so I ground up all the wheat berries in the jar. So now all I do is just disconnect my machine from here. And then I like to kind of tap it around to make sure none of the flour kind of poops out. But here is the result. Look at that flour. Doesn't that look good? So here's what it looks like. That is half hard red wheat and half hard white wheat. And that's, like I said, what I use for pretty much all of my breads. It's warm and it smells so good. And now it's ready to bake with. So it's really that simple. it's not that big of a deal. I feel like a lot of people are intimidated by the whole idea of milling your own grains at home. It's super, super simple. I'll take this, kind of brush it off and get the flour off and clean up the machine a little bit. Tuck it back away in my pantry for next time that I need it. I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, check out the resources and such in the description box down below. My website, there will be links for all of the things that I mentioned today. And don't forget to check back for my bread video. I'm gonna be sharing with you my favorite bread recipe. And I think this is gonna be the beginning of a lot more of kind of like cooking and bread making videos, maybe canning, things like that on this channel. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up for sure. Let me know if you have any questions. I love to hear from you guys down in the comments. So leave me a comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to you. All right, thanks for watching this video and we will see you in the next one. Bye.